Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Peanut Gamers. This week on Let's Talk About, we're talking about my favorite subject, remasters. Take it away. What is a remaster?
A remaster is basically remaking an old game into a new format. That would mean either transferring it to a new engine or maybe adding some new mechanics into it and make it available for new machines and or resolutions.
Do you have any examples?
So we can have either the bad-ish remasters. Those would be Grim Fandango in older systems. So the remaster was basically giving you the ability of playing that game on PC in current generation systems. I mean, if you could not play Grim Fandango, you could not get it without it being remastered.
Um,
That's mainly what Grim Fandango did. Homeworld Remaster did, but of course, Homeworld Remaster is an amazing remaster as it's really well made considering how much effort was put into it about the visuals, about the menus, and everything that was unclunkified. I think that if I had to mention a really horrible remaster, it would be the Heroes of New Earth or Heroes of Might and Magic. What was it? It was a truly horrible remaster in the sense that honestly it didn't add anything and it didn't even fix the problem about the 16 by 9 resolutions. I mean, it did add it, but it still had issues. And it wasn't such a demanding game graphically. It's just a weird and unreasonably stupid reason to remaster a game that is already out in modern systems and you can legally get.
so is it worth your while?
Well, honestly, it depends on just like we said in the third question, it depends on how good the remaster is itself. If you say take a good remaster that deserves to be played, but you couldn't otherwise get it, then yes, they're worth your while. If you get a really good remaster that just rehashes good mechanics from the remastered game, like say Homo Remaster, that you basically remade the UI, they remade the UI, they made it less clunky, and they made it look better, then that's what you want as well. But on the other hand, if you take something like Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which is basically just an upscale, or say, I don't know, Sonic Heroes Remaster,
Sonic
where
Heroes Remaster, yeah, I remember
oh my
that.
God, that was just horrible, horrible mess. Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry, I didn't know how that
Oh
came up.
my god, what the fuck?
I remember seeing this game in the
This
game store. I
game,
was like,
man, you
oh
brought back
God.
memories. You brought back memories. Everyone was super hyped, like, yeah, it's Sonic, alright. And then, bam, biggest fail ever.
It was just horrible. It was just the reason that Sonic Boom was just so equally horrible.
Anyway,
So,
anyways, moving on, moving on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, why are they so popular? I mean, why do developers keep making them?
Oh wow, wow, that's a question I'm not gonna answer with any salt in my mouth. Okay, so here's a story about someone who liked the game Thief: The Metal Age, and suddenly in 2012, a game called Thief pops up, and they say this is gonna be the new installment in the Thief series, and so on and so forth. And the game comes out, and it's just this gigantic clusterfuck. So why do the developers keep making them? Or why stain the names and franchises because of nostalgia and fuck you? Because they take a franchise that is obviously popular with a certain degree of people, but there's also other people that have never even played the bloody thing. And they just can't be bothered because of, there's just some of those old games that you just find no good reason in playing because they're so clunky and they're so old and they don't look good and they're too hard for you. So many people just didn't play those old Thief games. So they just remastered it. They made it simple. They made it stupid. And they made it bad. This is mainly all I can say about remasters without getting too salty, if I already haven't.
Okay, that was certainly interesting, but you didn't really answer my question. You just said a story. I mean, I get it that developers just want to make a game that was successful in the past, be successful in the future as well. But is there any point of that? I mean, do people buy that game?
Well, as it stands, some remasters sell really, really well. Like, okay, maybe Thief wasn't the biggest success, but some other games really did sell well. And developers can see that since they cannot be bothered to come up with original ideas, they just rehash old games that have nostalgia's sake and be like, yeah, that's this old game, but we remade it, and yeah, be glad you have it. We have the rights to it, so no good developer that might do something interesting with it is going to be getting it. So deal with it. I think that's around the point that developers, publishers, more to the point, are greedy and, well, licensed games that we have seen in the past, they're usually not the best thing. And it's kind of weird to be talking about a licensed game, about an already existing game, but you know what I mean at this point. So, if I were to ask you one question, has any remaster ever felt negative, like it had a negative impact in the industry to you? Not if you personally hate it, if it had a negative impact.
As I see things, remasters are basically games from the past that have been reborn with new clothes, let's say. So they're basically an old game that people liked it, and they just said, yeah, but made a big success in the past. Why not make it in the future? And just like I said before, they just put it out of the market with some new shenanigans and say, "Here you go, kids. Have enjoy your new game," which is not actually a new game. It's like they've played it before. But people keep buying these games because they think they'll get a different experience for what was the first one. But it's pretty much the same thing, except some like Metro, which heavily focused on stealth with this time. I mean, it was not clunky and you know.
Well, actually, now if we are going to move to the Metro territory now, what I personally see in the Redux games is a gigantic price drop, especially for Metro Last Light. Metro Last Light was a game that came out in 2013, and with Metro Last Light Redux, you get that game remastered for €20, which is cheaper than you would get the original Metro Last Light with the DLC that is included to the Redux version. Now, Metro 2033, on the other hand, just got remastered and just got fixed in general. Like the original was just a hard game that required stealth and so on and so forth, but the stealth didn't work really well. Like it was even worse than what is there on 2013 33, if you can imagine that actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible. But also, like, I've been talking about the Thief remaster, but it wasn't really a remaster, it was a reboot. But I think that we should, while there should be a lining between reboots and remasters, we should also consider that reboots, what are reboots essentially? They're just taking games that are forgotten or haven't got a new game in the franchise for a long, long time, and they just kick and just shove your face within like the name, and it just tell you, hey, that's a sequel. It's just like EA did with Dungeon Master. Reboots, remasters, they're just the same word for I do not have any creativity whatsoever, so I'm using license from the past. And yes, this might be a little harsh, but honestly, do we really need another Resident Evil game? Do we really need another remake of the fucking Final Fantasy VII? God damn it. That actually, yeah, I'm gonna shut up now because.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say, and pretty much all my questions have been answered.
Okay, thank you then.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope were informative.
And well, I guess we were kind of informative. So see you guys next time in the Pinner Gamers channel.